Cheesecake, yummy. Anyway, Illustrator second video. First one we did scrolling text, we expanded text, and now we're going to make a logo. And by the way, I forgot to do something with that expanded text, so let me just go back to that file. Open recent file, head credits. I forgot to tell you guys to put each one of these lovely letters on their own layer so that when they come into After Effects they are separate and we can move them separately. So it's really simple to do. What you can do is go into your window menu and bring up layers or press F7, and then if you look and expand this, you see that we have each letter has its basically almost its own little it's designated as its own path. Some of them are compound paths. Don't worry about that. That's just a more complicated object. So what we're going to do is we are going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 letters. There's already one layer, so let's make 4 more layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was 5. I can just delete that one, or I have to drag it into the garbage bin like that. And what we do is we just take our different letters and put them on the different layers by dragging them. So the E will go on layer 4, the L on 3, the T on 2. I need another layer. I counted wrong. What a dummy. There's my 5th layer, and I'm going to put the I on there with its dot on top. There we go. So we have our letters, and we can name them here because that will show up in After Effects. It makes it less confusing. L, this is T, and this is I, and this is T. And there we go. And let's save it. And let's move on and do our logo. So new file, again, 1080 HD TV. We have one layer. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the interweb. Look at that beautiful cheesecake. We're going to pick an inanimate object, in my case a cheesecake, and we're going to drag it out a little bit. Whoops. So we have our cheesecake here, and up here we have our little sub menu, and what we're going to do is we're going to trace the image, and when we trace the image we can block it off according to color gradients, chunks of color, and make it into sort of a illustrated object rather than a picture. And we can define how we do that, and we're going to try a 3-color image trace here with this drop-down menu. And there's my image trace with 3 colors. Now I think it should have a little bit more detail so it stands out better, so I'm going to go to this image trace panel. I'm going to increase my colors to 4 and see what happens. Tab out of that. And it looks a little bit better, so I'm happy with that. Now that's the first step. We've traced it. Now what we have to do is expand it and give each one of these different shapes which have been traced their own anchor points. So here we go, expand, and there are all of our anchor points. Now this object is made up of many different paths. So what we have to do is we have to take this object and we have to degroup it or ungroup it so that we can get rid of this white background. So with the entire object, our group chosen, we're going to go to Object and we are going to ungroup it. We're going to click outside of it, back inside of it, and we are going to take, whoa, why didn't it work? Let's do that again, ungroup it, and now we will take away the white background, click. And now what I'm going to do is all I have are all these different paths, closed paths, all together, and I want to keep them together. So I'm going to press Command A to choose them all, and I'm going to regroup this group. So I ungrouped, got rid of the white, now I'm going to group it again. And that way they're all stuck together. And if you look on our layers window, you can see that the group is all held together in one sort of folder, so to speak. And that's a good thing because we might want to add another layer, layer number 2, and we might want to put, for example, the name of this production company, which is Cheesecake Films. By the way, when you type out more than can fit inside the bounding box, you get this little plus sign here. So we just drag it out. Come on, baby. There we go. Drag it out this way. So Cheesecake Films is on its own layer, so that when we go into After Effects, we can move these two independently of each other. I'm not so concerned about that right now. I'm going to delete it, and I'm just going to save this as an Illustrator file. So save it. Oh, before we do that, let's get rid of our extra layer there. Let's just save it. Apple S. There you go. So that does it. We have a cheesecake. So we have three files. We have a scrolling credit file. We have a head credit file of different letters. Each letter has its own layer. And then finally we have a cheesecake, which started out as a JPEG or raster image, and we have traced it. And then we've expanded it. And then we've ungrouped it, taken away the background, then we've regrouped it, and it's all together and all happy. If you wanted to export this for your website or anything, you would export up here, save for web, save it as a PNG, and that way you retain this alpha layer behind it, and it will float on anything that you want, including your picture if you bring it into an editing program like Final Cut Pro. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm getting really hungry. Whoa. This is Andy, and we'll see you next with another little one of these tutorials, which will be on After Effects. Yeah, After Effects. Talk to you soon. Bye.